Hey, y'all. Hey.
Hey, what's going on?
We are here live on Talk That Talk on Tuesdays.
Yes.
March the 3rd March the 11th. I keep doing that. March the 11th.
We're here.
Yes.
And we went over our followers. We got how many followers now?
I think we're like at 150.
That's awesome.
Yes, so
Y'all
we thank
did
you
that.
all. Yes, you guys are so supportive. All of the love that you have shown us, greatly, greatly appreciate it. We also appreciate your patience. You know, when you start doing things like this, a lot of times you have technical difficulties and all different other types of things, like trying to get things set up. So we want to say thank you all for your patience. So what we want you all to do is to go on to your page, share,
And like.
and follow.
Thank you.
So much.
Very, very much.
So that's what, as you see, we're taking a look at our phones ourselves so that we could go ahead and share. Let's see. Hang on a second real quick.
While she's doing that, like I said, we are here live at 3515 West Vermont, New Birth Fellowship Church. Shout out to my bishop, Rodney Phillips. And shout out to my first lady, Miss Veronica Phillips.
Thank you all so much for allowing us to
y'all.
do this in your facility, in your sanctuary. Thank you.
What do you have to
Can't see the views. I see it up at the top.
We supposed to know who tuned in first. Remember we were supposed to pull names, so we just gonna anonymously pull names.
I guess.
Okay, if you were on the live first, type your name in the comment section.
We'll say
so that we
first
can
person
pull
that
you.
makes a comment. First person that just watched.
The first person who joined the live, name should get pulled.
Okay, we can do that.
Because that way I'll know who to give to.
Bishop, yes.
That's cheating. I'm going to say that's cheating. It don't count.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so we have 4 shares and we have 3 viewers right now. So we thank you all for tuning in. We're still just, I guess, trying to get familiar with, what our flow is going to be like, and how this is going to work, because we just be doing random stuff sometimes.
We do. But it's so good to be here. I'm super excited. I've been excited for this day since October 14th. We had the conversation about it. So,
girl,
we are here.
Wait a minute. So we actually had the conversation March the 7th, 2024. Yes.
Really?
Yes. So after we did our last live, the next day there was like my memories, they popped up. And when they popped up, it was when we were sitting at the dinner table. Talking.
Really?
It is literally 1 year.
Oh, my God.
Ain't that crazy? Man.
That's insane.
Look how God works.
It is. Okay, today's topic or subject is titled Squabble Up.
Squabble up, squabble up. And tell me.
Who or what are you squabbling with? And I'm going to let you start this off because this was your topic of subject of today.
Well, my topic was inspired by a message that you preached. When did you preach it?
New Year's.
Okay, so at the top of the year.
Oh, and it was here at New Birth when I preached that message.
Yep. So it was about, what was it about? You guys say what it's about first.
We're at war.
Yeah, we're at war. And so when she was telling me, because we were trying to figure out, like, what are we going to talk about on our first premiere? Like, what is something that is really going to catch the attention of everybody and that can be relatable on all different levels? And so I said, well, what are some of the sermons that you did? And so she was talking about we are at war. And I'm like, man, that is literally 2025. Like, we literally are at war. And so I don't know why it just popped in my head about squabbling up. And so we decided to go. Well, I'm like, you know what? We need to squabble up. It's time to squabble up. And so, of course, as with anything that we usually do, those of us that are people that want to have knowledge, you always have to figure out what does the word mean. People say it all the time, but as we went and we looked up what squabble up means, squabble up is an expression that can mean to get ready to fight or to get ready to dance. It's also a slang term in Los Angeles that means someone is ready to fight. Squabble Up is a rallying cry in Kendrick Lamar's song Squabble Up that signifies he's ready to face challenges and stand his ground.
Good. That's good.
And when I saw that, I literally, I had chills because so many things are going on around us right now. Like, it is absolutely insane. We have wars within the church, within the denominations. We're having wars within the family. We're having wars on social media. We're having wars in politics. We're having wars within the country. We're having internal wars and struggles within ourselves. And it's just like everywhere around us is like mad chaos. And so I just thought that it would be good for us to kind of talk about squabbling up. Because I'm tired of just bowing out gracefully or just allowing life to just do whatever we want to do. So I'm like, you know what? It's time to squabble up.
So how do we squabble up?
So my Bible, and if the Bible is what I believe the Bible to be, the Bible says we wrestle not against flesh and blood. So at that point, that lets me know that all of this chaos and all of these different things that's going on is spiritual. So the way I deal with squabbling up, first and foremost, is prayer. Like, you gotta pray. And the interesting thing about prayer is, if you really study religions and cultures, most religions and cultures, everybody prays. So you gotta pray. You have got to pray. And it don't have to be all extra and all, crying and slobbering and sweating and whatever, but sometimes it could just be a whisper like, Jesus, do it. Jesus, do it.
Simple conversation.
Yep. It's just a simple conversation between you and the Father. That's all it is. Asking him to lead you and guide you and cover you and speak to you and protect you and whatever else he may have you to pray about. But it's prayer. And then the second thing that I thought was amazing about this terminology, it says to get ready to fight or to get ready to dance. Now,
the Holy Ghost.
Honey, now I'm Pentecostal, so man, we need that little link, that little. Sometimes you got to get a little dance in, squabble up real quick, you know what I'm saying? Stomp on the devil's head, you feel me? So those are some ways, but prayer, praise and worship, fasting, and also then, getting in the word. You got to know the word. The spiritual fight, you can't fight it just naturally. Like, you got to fight it with the word of God. And I think that's where a lot of us fail, is that we feel like we can just pray, or we feel like we can just dance, or we feel like we can just worship. But no, you got to know your word. The Bible talks about the word is a two-edged sword. So you got to have your sword.
So just to piggyback off of what you said, I believe that we are squabbling with ourselves. Like, the attack is in your own mental. A lot of people go through a lot of mental health issues.
Oh, yeah, that is serious right now.
If you don't have a stable mind, peaceful surroundings, you're gonna be fighting forever. I was in a situation to where, even as a mom, like, you deal with certain things, and you always feel like nothing is going to ever get better.
My goodness.
And you just want to give up, throw the towel in. I am done. There's many times that I even posted on my Facebook page, like, do God really know when you're tired? Like, do he know when you had enough. And he hear those cries, like, just in the nick of time. Like, that transformation was maybe a couple of years ago. I think I looked back at a diary that I had video recording myself talking, and it was like 2021. I think I was 37. And it was literally me saying how I feel like giving up, how I was tired of fighting, how I was just like, I was just beat down and drained. I'm like, what more can I do? I felt like I didn't have a purpose. I didn't know either I was coming or going. I'm like, it got to be something better for me. But telling you, when I start listening to this chick right here, Kokobeauty, and I started listening to this other guy, Christopher, then I started watching New Birth on Facebook. It was all those many things that God had drawn in me. And then he started speaking directly to me. In every message that I was given or getting, it was towards me. It was about me.
Yeah, I remember you.
Literally.
He was like, girl, they preached about, and let me tell you. I'm like, that's
it was
God.
about me. And I'm like, that's my
remember.
confirmation. That's my confirmation. And that what made me start going to church, start getting in my Bible, because I would pray and say, God, I want to be closer to you. I want to know your word. I want to be able to understand the Bible, because some of us can open up the Bible and not understand a word of it.
Yeah.
But there's all different kind of versions of the Bible, right? We got the King James Version. We got the New Living Testament Version. And they put it in terms that you will understand. So don't ever worry. But I'm telling you, the battle is it's in your mental. It's in the mental. Like, and don't let it beat you up. There are doctors out there. There are people you can talk to. If you don't want to talk to your family, find you somebody to talk to. Because getting past the mental struggle is half the battle.
Half the battle.
Once you get past that part, find yourself building a relationship with God, you winning already. You winning.
Absolutely. And I think that's something else that I feel like a lot of us nowadays is we always want to save face. Even if we really are dying on the inside, even if we really are not okay, we are so quick to always be like, you know, I'm okay, or I'll be fine. Well, sometimes you're not going to be fine until you deal with certain things or you face certain things. I know for me, I've had a lot of transitions and a lot of hard times in my life that I had to face. But I think one of the biggest things that was a blessing to me is that I've always been a transparent person. So if I'm not okay, I'm going to tell you I'm not okay. But I know a lot of people are not like that. And so I'm an advocate for speak on it. And this is something that God gave me at the end of last year, and I have been telling this to everybody. You matter.
Definitely do.
You matter. And what that means really is a lot of times we try to hold ourselves down sometimes, or we don't speak on how we feel or how things have affected us. And so we just keep holding on and holding on and holding on. And as we're holding on to all of these things, then when it's time for us to figure out about ourselves, we're so overwhelmed that sometimes it comes out in the wrong way. Because we're holding on and holding on and taking and taking and taking. Oh, I'll be fine. Or, oh, I understand why this person is acting this way. But again, if you address it in the moment, or it doesn't have the ability to build. I do know my kids used to grow up, but you know VeggieTales? Okay. So there was this thing on VeggieTales called the rumor weed. And so the rumor weed started off real itty bitty little like this. And then as the more, the rumors kept going around, it just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And I look at that as like a lot of times our issues, like the things that we deal with, like our hurts or our offenses or our anger, whatever, it starts off small, but then it just keeps building and building and building. And then if you watch on the weed, the weed becomes bigger, almost bigger than the city, and it just starts terrorizing the whole city, just wiping the city out. And that's what happens, is these little things that start off as a small offense or a small hurt or a small disagreement, it turns into something, and it'll desecrate your whole entire life. And now it'll kill you and kill your purpose. Because then now you going all the way off to the left. All the way off to, like, what you doing way over there? What you so mad for? What you addicted to certain things for? Because you haven't dealt with those things. So I am an advocate. You matter. Speak on it. Don't hold it in. Everybody else is telling how they feel.
But you know what? For me, my mom used to always say, why do you be telling people your business? And it's really not my business. It's my testimony.
Yeah.
Like, you don't tell everybody your business. Don't be going around telling people that. Don't tell them that.
I think
But that's my truth.
I don't want to say that's just a culture thing, because if you meet other cultures, like some of them women, they're locked mouth. They're locked jawed. You would never know. But I just think we need to make that a thing of the past. Like, I don't care. Like, if I need to talk to somebody and you're that blessed angel right here. Yesterday, kid you not, I was at the grocery store. Did you hear Daviana's message?
It's glowing.
Yeah. Girl, everybody in the store was stopping to tell me about what's going on in their life. I was just like, man, I just come to get my little wick. Like, what's going on? So this lady, she saw my shirt. It said millions, billions, and trillions. And she said, is that a Donald Trump shirt? I was like, no, like, what? Like, what is this? But it opened up a conversation where she started talking about she was in a 66-year narcissistic relationship, and this was a Caucasian woman. 66-year relationship with a narcissist, and so she just started breaking down all of these things, and she just ended up, by the end of the conversation, she gave me this big hug, and she said she's been out of this relationship for 6 years, and she's been healing for the last 4 years, but it's a process. And she says everywhere she goes and she gets the opportunity, she talks about it, because that is her form and her way of healing. And so she gave me this big hug, and she was like, thank you for letting me vent. I said, honey, you make sure everywhere you go, you speak your testimony. I said, you reach one, you teach one. So if this is something that you are overcoming and you're getting through it, speak on it. Tell your story.
That's funny you say that. Today when I went to Walmart, and this older white guy was like, excuse me, ma'am, can I get your basket? So I started like jogging it to him, because he had tubes and stuff on him. So I'm like trying to rush it to him. He was like, you know, Jesus loved you, right? I was like, okay, thank you, Jesus. I was like, where did that come from? Because it was so random. Like, this man don't know me from a can of paint to say that to me. Knows nothing about me.
Because you probably got that glow, girl.
Jesus glow.
That Jesus glow.
The anointed glow.
Glory, glory, glory. But yeah, you matter. Speak on it. And squabbling up time.
Definitely is squabbling up time. Especially when you're going through the journey of getting closer to God. It doesn't get any easier. So you have to be able to decipher the attacks from what's not the attacks, what's the good, what's the bad. When is God testing you? When is the devil testing you?
When are you testing yourself? Like you said, it's internal. Sometimes we bring things on our own self.
Doing certain things.
I mean, not even just certain things. Like, okay, so I'm going to tell off on myself. So...
Tell off on yourself.
Yeah,
tell it. What's the tea?
But you already know. So, like, I don't want to say, I did. I left the church. I did. I left the church. I mean, it wasn't that long, though, because, I love my Jesus. But I left the church. It was probably like 4 or 5 years. No, it was like 4, but more about 4 years. I mean, it could have been like 5 years. Because I know it was before COVID. It was a while. I had left the church. And I just didn't want nothing. I ain't want nothing to do with the church. Like, I just didn't. Because I'm like 4th, 5th generation Church of God in Christ. Like, I know the Bible forwards and backwards and backwards and forwards. I know doctrines. I even studied. I went to Bible college. I studied about all the different doctrines and theologies and just all kind of stuff. So I had knowledge on top of having a relationship with God, and I was tired of the political side of the church. And I said, you know what? I just don't want to deal with that. I just want to love on my God, love on my Jesus, and be cooling at the crib. And then if God tell me to speak to people, I'm going to do that. I didn't want none of that. So God allowed me to do it for, like I said, about four years or so. So time went on. The next thing you know, I'm just like, okay, so I'm like, life is heavy. Like, it's real heavy. Of course, I wasn't necessarily doing everything that I know I needed to do, but it still was a lot of things I wasn't doing because, again, I still had a relationship with God. And so one day I was like, okay, God, I need to know what the next step is, because God would always show me my future, and I would always see it. And I'd be like, how can I get there? Like,
It's right there.
I just need to, right? Just lead, just put me in a direction. And it just kept coming up. Like, people, and at the time I was selling cars, so people was like, what church you go to? I ain't got a church home. Oh, I ain't going to church right now. Yeah. You know, but God, you know, and I'm telling them all about God and the Bible and this and that, and I'm having these insane dreams, and just, it was insane, like how spiritual things were. So anyway, the time was going on. So in that moment, every time people ask me where your church home at, I would have this feeling on the inside, like, dang, I ain't a part of like, I'm just out here in these spiritual streets. I'm an orphan. I'm just out here, just out here. So long story short, that was God letting me know I needed a covering. Like, I needed it. Like, I had to have it. And there's safety in numbers. And when you really, truly have the correct covering, they can pray for you and pray over you and cover you in ways that you don't understand that you need. And the fellowship, as you said, remember you was like, you had started on your journey and you just wanted to give up, but then all of a sudden, God started bringing your strength around you.
Yeah.
So on your journey, even though we do have moments where we isolate ourselves, we're still not by ourselves, because you still have your bishop. If you started going MIA, I'm pretty sure he going to be knocking down the door. He going to be blowing your phone up. He going to be sending smoke signals. All kind of stuff is going to be happening, because he knows how the enemy works. He starts pulling you away and isolating you. You know what I'm saying? That's like the first start, the first signs. So at that point, it's like, okay, so I needed a covering. But I also know I didn't want to just be a part of any church, and I didn't want to just be a part of but I needed to be a part of some ministry or covering that could handle where God was taking me. Because the things that I seen in the future, everybody can't handle that. And so it's like, I needed God to lead me and to guide me. And he did indeed just that. And so to the question that you asked, like, how can we, so I made it harder on myself by forsaking the assembly of others.
The assignment.
I walked away from the church. I said, I don't want none of y'all drama. Y'all leave me alone. Get on out of here. Unsubscribe type situation. But we can't forsake the assembly, because, again, there's strength in numbers. And as I begin to be obedient, because, so I'm not a preacher. This is Kokobeauty's theory, okay? I do not believe you're going to go to hell if you don't go to church. I just don't believe that. Now, what you will go to hell for is if you are in utter disobedience to God, and he gave you a task and you just are absolutely rejected and refuse it. That's different. But if something happened in life and you like lost and you just really trying to find your way and you're not actually attending church, but you're still trying to figure it out, I believe, again, God knows your heart. And you really are trying. You just trying to navigate your way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and sometimes people don't have the access to the right people.
That's it. But for me, it took me 4 years to get to my people.
It took me longer.
And that's the thing, is it is a journey. It doesn't happen overnight. Like, God ain't no genie, and this life ain't Aladdin. Like, it don't, you pray and rub the genie and poof. No, it don't happen like that. Everything is a process. You do have miracles, and what are miracles? Miracles are literally instances where things defy all natural laws. But the majority of things and how things happen, it's a process. And we all got to go through that process. It's just that we just feel like, boom, let's just make it happen. So that's why I say, like, I really do feel like sometimes we do bring things on ourselves. Whether, like I said, like you said, is it a test from God? Is God testing us like he tested Job? Is it God allowing us to be tested like he allowed Satan to test Job? Or is it Satan testing us or attacking us because, he comes to steal, kill, and destroy, and he's doing his due diligence? Or is it something that we brought on ourselves? Because that's something else. Man, girl, we're going to have to talk about that. We're going to talk about that one day, about how sometimes we over here trying to cast out the devil, and we really need to just be telling ourselves to shut up and sit down. Because sometimes it ain't the devil. Sometimes it's us. It's our will. The devil's sitting back like, oh, you making it easy for me.
Go ahead. Keep doing what you're doing.
Exactly, because he ain't even got to do nothing. He don't even got to do nothing because we doing it all ourselves. So yeah, girl.
Okay. How long we been doing it?
I don't know.
Not trying to take up too much of anyone's
He said
time.
Reverend Kokobeauty.
But
Did you share?
I did. I did. So we're gonna try to close it out. Closing out. But we do not want to close out without giving a life lesson. So since we talked about squabbling up and what you need to do to squabble up, we are going to focus on this week's life lesson as mental health. Like I said, reach out to whoever you are comfortable with talking to. Call a doctor, vent, talk to a friend, someone you feel safe with, but always, always take time out for yourself. If you have to, go take a long hot bath, go eat by yourself, take yourself out. Candles, meditation. I even heard exercise is good for your mental health, not only just your physical health. If you need to go exercise, go run, go jog. I always tell my son, my teenage son at 18, when he is upset or school is stressing him out, I'm like, just go for a walk. Just go walk, go run, go jog, whatever you need to do. And I notice when he comes back inside the house, he's a different person. I'm like, how do you feel? I feel better. So this week is mental health. If you have any questions, any concerns, anything you want to ask, please don't hesitate to DM, send a message. I think we got an email address now, do we?
Yes, it is TalkThatTalk 2425. So like 24 is 25. So because we started in 24, 25, that's why I put that. So TalkThatTalk 2425 at gmail.com.
So if you have any questions and you want to just reach out there, you can. You're more than welcome to. Do you have any closing statements, ma'am?
No, I do. As she was talking about mental health, and I think that's good. I didn't even realize how that kind of coincides with each other about you mattering. Again, that is something that I am going to promote to everybody. At the end of the day, you matter. If you're unhappy, find out why you're unhappy and make yourself happy. Don't allow other people to stifle your happiness or your joy or your peace. So again, you matter. If something is making you uncomfortable, figure out why it's making you uncomfortable and fix it. There's no reason to be unhappy, uncomfortable, especially for long periods of time. So just remember, you matter, and take time out for yourself to get yourself in alignment, because you matter.
Yep, and I do appreciate everyone for tuning in tonight. Everyone that's going to go back and watch it, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Please, if you was the first person on the live, please put your name in the comments. I will send you a message, DM you, Cash App you, whatever. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to put them in the chat, the comment section, or DM them to us. We will get back to you. Don't forget to follow. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to share. And once again, we are at 3515 West Vermont at New Birth Fellowship Church.
Thank you all. Thank you.